today we're going to do an experiment to see if some of these different items sink to the bottom of the water or float on the top. Let's start out here with our apple. Now, have you ever seen an apple? It's pretty heavy, isn't it? Do you think this apple's going to sink to the bottom of this water or float on the top? What do you think? Make your prediction. I think this apple might sink to the bottom. Let's see. Look at that. Do you guys see? It is floating at the top of the water. It did not. It hit the bottom and it bounced right back up. It is not at the bottom. It floats. I have a special spot for this over here. I'll show you in a little bit. All right, the next thing we're going to try are some raisins. Some raisins. Do you think these raisins are going to sink to the bottom or float on the top? Oh, it fell out of my hand. Oh, it looks like they're at the bottom of the water. They did not come to the top. I'm going to leave those in there, and I'm going to put a couple of raisins over here to show us, okay? All right. How about I have some rice? Have you guys ever cooked rice at home with your family? What happens when you put it in the water? Do you think it sinks or does it float? What do you think? Let's find out. Open the rice. Is it going to sink to the bottom or float on the top? Oh, it's all on the bottom. None of it's floating. All right. Let's move on to some pasta. We made pasta at school. What happened when we put our pasta? What happens, do you think, when we put pasta in water? Remember, we made the noodles at school, but I took it home to cook it. So do you think it's going to sink to the bottom or float on the top? Which one? Float or sink? Sink or float? Let's try it out. Oh, lots of things on the bottom now. There's pasta down there. Now, I found some split peas. These are peas. Do you think peas will sink to the bottom or float on top? Let's find out. Oh, it looks like they sink to the bottom too. There's lots of stuff on the bottom. There's nothing on the top right now except our apple, which we put over there. All right. Let's find out what happens with popcorn. Yummy, yummy popcorn. Do you think it's going to sink to the bottom or float on the top? Let's find out. Oh, more stuff on the bottom. Look at that. Now, I have two more things. This is a stick. Now, have you ever seen a stick at home? I'm sure you have. Do you think, sometimes they're big and heavy, do you think they're going to sink to the bottom or float on top? Let's find out. Look at that. The stick is floating at the top. I'm going to take this one out so I can put it over here with our apple. All right. All right, so we've got a couple things that floated. Most everything else sinks. Now I'm going to try something different. Olive oil. You remember last week we used olive oil on a skewer to put it through a balloon? What do you think is going to happen when I pour olive oil in my water? Do you think it's going to mix it in between, sink to the bottom, or float on the top? Let's find out. It could either sink or float. Did you see that? It all went to the bottom and came right back to the top. Olive oil floats in water. It floats. Pretty cool, isn't it? So I'm going to put this over here and then I'm going to show you. And we're going to look at what we found that sinks and what we found that floats. So right now, can you see? This is the stuff that floats. We've got apple, oil, and a stick. Here's the stuff that sinks on this side. We've got peas, pasta, popcorn, raisins, and rice. Which group is more? Yeah, the sink group is more. How about which one is less? The float group is less. Now I have something else I want to show you. Special water. I have some special water to show you. This water is bubbly water. And I'm going to put the bubbly water in this vase. And then we're going to try, see if that changes anything. Woo! It is very bubbly. Can you guys see how bubbly this water is? Put it all the way to the top. Now, we're going to try this again and see if it changes anything. We're going to start with some raisins. We're going to put raisins in our bubbly water and see what happens. Do you think it's going to sink or float? They still sink to the bottom. Let's see. Let's try some peas. Oh, look, some of them are dancing. Oh, a couple. There's a couple dancing. Did you see that? How about some rice? See if, oh, there's another pea dancing. Oh, look. Look, it's all dancing. That water is making it dance. Eventually goes down to the bottom, but it dances its way down. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Let's try some popcorn. Oh, that popcorn's dancing too. Look at it dance. Can you see it? It's dancing. It's pretty cool. All right, let's see what the pasta does. Well, I think that pasta might be a little too big, but it's kicked up some of the popcorn, and that popcorn's dancing some more. All right. I think we got everything but our stuff that floated. Let's see what happens. Let's try the stick first. That popcorn's really dancing. Yeah, that stick's still gonna float, isn't it? How about the apple? Oh, that apple's still floating. It's turning in circles. Do you see that? That apple is turning in circles. That's so cool. And here comes the popcorn. Oh, it turned all the way over. Should we try adding some oil and see what happens? It's pretty full. I don't know. Let's find out. The oil's still floating. That is super cool. All right. So if you want to try this at home, you've got to get your mom's and your dad's permissions and your family's. And maybe you guys could do it together. You could see if you can find different things that sink in water and different things that float. And then if you want to, get some bubbly water, sparkling water, and you can try to see if you can make things dance too. All right? That was so much fun. Thanks for tuning in. Wishing you well.